Running large language models locally is not only fun but also a requirement. In my humble opinion, very soon we will say that more and more companies, individuals will be preferring to run these language models locally as the GPU costs will come down and hosting, training, fine tuning, and just inference will be cheaper and cheaper. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can run LLMs locally. The list is not exhaustive by any means, and it is growing and changing like almost every week or every month. Now, there are few ways through which you can run LLMs locally, and if I have missed any option, please feel free to put it in the comments and I will be updating this too. Okay. Now, let me first show you some of the ways you can run these models locally. Now, I don't have any favorite and I don't use all of them. In fact, I have hardly seen many of them being used by many people, as only a few handful are used most of the time. If you ask me, I just use LM Studio, which is at the top when I'm using large language models in the context way on the Windows system. Otherwise, I prefer to use either Transformers or Olama when I'm using on the Linux based systems. If I have to work with Mac, I normally go with MLX. But again, just go with whatever you prefer, as they are all good, they're all very performant. Of course, there are some speed differences, there are some technology differences, there are some ideological differences. Everyone has its own favorite, so I'm not going to into that politics. I have just told you my own preference, and that will change, of course, with the passage of time, because I also like Cobalt CPP. I really like EXUI. I have used almost every each one of them. For example, in the last column, we have this TXT AI, which is great for the embedding model. But at the same time, EVA PLS is good. Power Infer is good. Deep Speed Fast Gen is awesome. VLLM is great. I have extensively used this Uba Buga. Llama file is very simple. Jan.ai is quite nice. And then, as I said, this list is not exhaustive at all. So why would you know, elect to run these models locally, and which tool should you use? Now, as I said, you need to start somewhere, and don't let this exhaustive and ever growing list confuse you and baffle you, because all you need to do is to focus on actual model, and even more than model, you need to focus on use case. So your use case should be your foremost preference. You need to think about why exactly you want to use the LLM. Then once you settle on that use case, then think, okay, this is how I am going to use it. It could be LM Studio, Olama, Transformers, LangChain, or whatever you like. That doesn't matter. So first settle on use case, then select your model as per your use case, and then select the way you are going to run it locally. That should be the order of the things when you are running or thinking of running these models locally. And there are different reasons why people prefer to run these local. For example, the first and foremost reason I hear from the organization and even from the mid-sized businesses or some of the individual is privacy and security. When you run your large language models locally, your data doesn't leave your own server or personal computer. This is particularly important for sensitive or proprietary information where privacy concerns or data protection regulations restrict the sharing of data with third party cloud providers. Now, in this list, I just haven't mentioned some of the tools. Some of the tools are wrappers on the existing tools. There are some tools which are the combination of different tools, and then there are some tools like Bedrock and Vertex AI are from the public cloud providers like AWS and Google, respectively. And every cloud provider has such service, which actually enables you to call the models through API. You don't actually run those models locally, but you just call them through the API, and there are different vendors, and that list is growing like mushrooms every day. Another privacy factor could be that you want to use the model for role play. I know various people who use these models for dating, for just an intimate companion, where they just assign the role to the model of a girl or a boy or whatever the preference is, and then they talk the model to the role play and they just enjoy it. So, and they want to do it in the privacy of their own home. They don't want to leave the whatever data, whatever prompting they are using. And then, of course, they just want the privacy of their own servers just to be on the safer side. And then some people want to have some customizations and control, like local deployment allows for greater customization of the model and the infrastructure it runs on. You can tweak the model architecture, training data set, or even inference parameter to better suit your specific need without being constrained by the offering of cloud service provider. And then cost is a big issue here, because for example, if you're a big organization, you have massive need of using these models, and you have tried out OpenAI's such as GPT-4, and if you are using API based function calls or API calls, you can imagine that bill can get real ugly very soon, even if you're using these uh, public cloud provider services like Bedrock or Vertex AI, or even from Azure or Alibaba or wherever. If you are using it extensively, your cloud bill or AI bill could really give you shock of the your life. So if you're running the model locally, yes, there is a one-time cost and there will be an ongoing cost of infrastructure, but that is not as high as your API based calls. Depends upon your use case and the volume of your data and volume of your usage. And then of course there is reduced latency if you're running it locally, maybe on your own device. There will be of course less and less latency. Offline availability is another factor, because local models can operate without an internet connection if you're using them on your laptop or on your mobile device. That makes them suitable for environments where connectivity is limited. For example, if that's an edge device which is running in the middle of a desert and you don't want it to be hindered by any LLM, you can use it there. Then there are certain industries which are governed by strict regulations regarding data processing and storage. Running LLMs can make it easier to comply with such regulations by ensuring that data handling practices meet the required standard. Now, running LLMs locally also comes with challenges such as need for significant computational resource hardware, especially GPUs, which are in not that high supply. Then you would need technical expertise for setup and maintenance your infrastructure, both hardware, software, and then of course there will be higher upfront costs. Now, this decision between running the cloud or local based deployment should be based on careful consideration. Having said that, out of these tools which are there on this screen, there are a lot of differences. For example, if you're running the llama.cpp server, there are different variations of this. Then it will also expose the built-in web UI that llama.cpp comes with by default. For example, llama file, this is just literally a single file with the model and chat interface bundled together. You just need to download it, run, and no installations. Same as LM Studio. Very, very neat interface where you can specify your GPU or CPU. You can load different model in quantized way. Then there are a lot of other things on this um, screen, where Olama is quite as fast as llama.cpp, and it is quite nice too. So, but remember, Olama is primarily a wrapper around llama.cpp. So, for example, this transformer is a bit limiting in terms of functionality. Text and web UI has more features, and then there will be auto. There is one which I missed, which is automatic 444, which is also quite famous. People are using it, but not as much. This month I have seen its usage. So as I said, these things are coming and going, and every day there is a newer thing. So please don't get too sentimental and emotional over if I have missed any. Feel free to put it in the comments. For example, um, I'm more than sure some people would say that we can combine these tools and run it more efficiently. Of course, such as XLama version 2 plus XUI is really great for GPU only inference on NVIDIA on Linux, and people are using it for different purposes. And as I said, there are different ways. People have their own tooling, and I mean, VLLM is great for back. And then I'm just thinking from my memory, as it is coming. I didn't prepare any notes for it. But the crux of the matter is that this list is growing, and as you can already see that there are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 32 tools just on this screen. I didn't want to prolong it, but I might be putting it more as I know in the comments. If I miss any, feel free to put it in the comments. It is just growing list. So, for example, there is also a Llama Sharp, which I found out while researching it. This is a llama.cpp in C sharp, and there are a lot of other things. LMQL is one thing, which is an inference API server, quite fast. Anyway, that's it, guys. I could go on and on and on and keep rambling about it. Please help me out and grow this list. Put it in the comments which you like, and if you like the content, then please do me a favor and consider subscribing to the channel. And if you already are the patron and like the content and already subscribed, then please share it among your network, as that helps a lot. Thanks for watching.